Well,
Welcome to Shade in the City. I'm your girl Treese.
it's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are here to get into none other than the love that happens after the lockup. This is season 6, episode 18. Karma is a coming. Okay. It's just karma's coming, but I got to make everything interesting. So if you guys have not, what'd you say?
I said or extra.
Or extra. Again, I'm a thespian. Okay. So this is my craft. All right. So if you guys have not already, please go ahead and do us a favor. Hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
Yeah, and y'all, let's get right into it and let's get shady. All right, y'all. Well, as I told Nels, and I apologize for the inconvenience, I was not able to get y'all screenshots this time around, but we do have our lovely pop-ups. So, you know who the hell we talking about, okay? So yeah, let's get into our favorite throuple. It's the Quiana, Damoderick, and Jawalia of it all, okay? Now, Damoderick and Jawalia, they still going at it in Quiana's backyard of all places. About these charges that she refuses to drop. And so Damoderick said, I'm just really surprised that Jawalia would think that I would do something to her car. I mean, the cat is good, but it ain't that good because clearly I would have stayed with her if it was. Okay. Basically Jawalia tells him that, I'm not dropping anything. And, she was like, I don't understand why. Huh?
I said, but these draws.
Well, that. But said, I don't even know why he out here acting clueless or whatever. So she leaves to go to work before Quiana gets there. And then Damoderick says that he believes Jayla wants him to go, Jawalia, because Jayla sounds much better than her name. But he believes Jawalia wants him to go back to prison.
Did you hear what the investigator called her?
No, Jawalia. Po baby. So yeah, he believes that the girl just want him to go back to prison because if she can't have him, nobody can. And I said, woo, your head is real big. So Damoderick's dad.
It's her fault for even having him think like that.
That part. So Damoderick's dad drops Quiana off at home and she starts going off about how Jawalia is, miserable AF. And yeah, Quiana thinks Jawalia just wants to be her so bad. And I said, oh, now I see why y'all are together, because y'all both some really arrogant people with very big heads. I mean, so Jawalia said, you know what? They're making me the problem, but I wasn't dealing with any of these issues until he got out. So she gets conveniently pulled over or inconveniently pulled over. And so she's getting all nervous. And I'm like, well, what you nervous for, girl? You the one that's pressing charges. And that's when we learned that she got some warrants that she is something she been paying on. She got a misdemeanor. She said it was just a minor traffic infraction. Okay. However, he said, well, your plates are still up and you need to go down to the judge and pay it, or you're still going to be in jail. Is what I got from it. So she finally gets home and she's ready to move on from the situation with Keith. That's why I was thrown off, because I was like, this is not Latisha and Keith's part. But anyway, so the special investigator came by to interview her.
Oh, you had his name.
Yeah, I had got his name. That's what threw me off, because I was like, why is Keith's name in this?
That's why I don't do that.
You stupid. So Damoderick has decided he's going to take Quiana out for a special date, like paddle boating, to try to cheer her up. And he says, he knows he can't tell Quiana about Jawalia being at the house, but he's more worried about getting the warrant taken care of. And so Quiana's all angry and, she's just wanting somebody to get to the bottom of it. She starts breaking down on a paddle boat. And so he's like, well, what would you like? Or what can I do better? How can I be better? And so Quiana told us, well, I just really need you to open up. And I said, no, you need him to shut it down. Zip it up. Like, let's be 100 about what you need. I don't think opening up is the problem.
Child, that man is open fire and it's
Okay.
trees.
So then Joella talks to, we see her talking to Keith, and she tells him that Quiana is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for a man. And she was like, and so he was like, well, would you take a polygraph? And Joella said, well, who gonna fail, me or Quiana? And so he said, well, look, honestly, I don't see no issues in Kiana's past, but have you ever done anything? She said, oh, no. This is what we not gonna do. And she said, that don't even matter, because just because Quiana ain't been arrested, that don't mean she ain't out here causing some shit. Okay. So he's still pressuring her. So how you feel about this polygraph? And she said, no. And so then he hands her this affidavit and he wants her to sign it. And she said, well, why would I be signing this? And he tells her, because that would just make the case go away. You don't want to testify in court, do you?
She's like, yeah, the hell I do. No.
Right. And so Joella said that only benefits Quiana. So she realizes, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. So you here for her. And, I ain't got nobody to represent me. So at this point, lawyer, even though I ain't got one yet, lawyer, okay, I need my representation. So she said, in order for her to sign these papers, she wants a meeting, a sit down with Quiana, and she wants her to pay for these cosmetics that were damaging her car. So production is like, well, girl,
I'm gonna buy anyway.
So production is like, well, why do you need to talk to her face to face? And Joella said, because I think I deserve a face to face apology, and we need to come to some type of understanding.
And
I said,
she want to spill the tea that she keep on talking about to Damoderick.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
About how they still sleeping together.
I agree. When did they go off the screen? I must have hit something. My bad. All right, let's move on.
We'll be fine.
Nell's favorite couple.
Oh, these folk. JK and Brrooke. So
I don't understand.
I'm gonna start off with my initial thoughts because that's the way my notes is set up. What you was about to say?
I just don't understand why these women are running around for this dirty man. It just like it don't even.
Treese, this is not the only man that women just run around. Look at Damoderick.
Yeah, but I mean, JK literally just got some new teeth. Like, he been real rough. Like, I'll take Damoderick and his puff balls any day over JK in his mouth. I'm sorry. I don't want either one, but still.
Child, there ain't nobody on this show. Keith might be the finest, but I still would. All right. So JK is steady acting like this pregnancy is all news to him. He's worried about Brrooke finding out that Alex might be pregnant. And initially I didn't know if she, had lost the first one and then he put another one up in her. So
that's like, what it sounded like to me.
Because I was like, just a couple episodes ago, he knew about the baby. Brrooke knew about the baby and she had lost it. Okay. So then he gets a call from Brrooke. He broke the promise again. He ain't answer the phone. He said he don't know what to say. So he ain't about to answer. And he said that he had sex with Alex a couple months ago. He cheated on Brrooke because he was unhappy. Boy, bye.
Okay.
You didn't give a damn that girl cheated on you. Okay, you wanted that old thing back. So then he pulls up to Alex's house unannounced, okay, to confront her about being pregnant. She said, yeah, surely is.
I love when she was like, why are you here?
Exactly. For what, sir? Because I ain't invite you.
Okay.
And basically she said she said, he couldn't get his stuff together and he settled on Brrooke. And then she went to go get him the sonogram pictures because he was talking about how she had no proof of the losing the baby and all this other stuff before. And now she got the receipts, okay, of this baby. So she told production she didn't tell him she was pregnant because last time she had to deal with the loss of the pregnancy on her own. And he wasn't there for her, and didn't see any point in telling him this time. And apparently, he got her knocked up again. So then he asked her, what is the chance of the baby being his? She said it's 50-50. Because I was smashing somebody else. Okay.
So here's my thing. Why are you, just my opinion, if he left you like that the first time when you had a miscarriage and he wasn't there for you, why do you let him come back and shoot up the club again?
Trace, are we
I know these are backwoods people, but I'm just saying logic, common sense, like
all of these questions, all of these questions that you
it's
have,
too much. It's too much.
it could go for anybody on this show. I mean, we could ask why Brooke is back with him after he clearly got this girl pregnant. And now she can't get in contact with
No,
him.
I mean, yes, but
He's ready to pull up at Alex's house, who she swear up and down he don't want and didn't get pregnant. But first thing to come to mind is that my man is over there because he ain't answering the phone. I mean, girl, we could ask all these logical questions to these people that are not logical.
I just want to know. Okay, I just want to know.
They ain't got no answers for you. So yeah, so that's making me feel like she didn't tell him because she don't think it's his. It's really what it's given. It's given. It's really none of your business because yeah, I slept with you, I smashed, but the timing ain't timing, and the other dude is really the baby daddy, and he know all about it.
Well,
That's
you know what's crazy to me?
my business.
I think she's putting it. This is just my opinion. I think to your point that she probably does believe that whoever else she's been with is the father, but she gonna let this hang over JK's head.
Oh, when she said the whole thing about DNA, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I thought. So yeah, once again, Brooke is calling. He ain't answering. Alex told him to go back to living his life, and told him to leave her alone and just go be happy. But says that he just keeps on strolling up in this truck of his, and she just keeps on letting him back in. Okay. She told him, you making it seem like I'm the other woman, and that's not what it is. I am the woman.
What the woman gets you? Because I don't want to be the woman, if that's what it is.
Child, listen, I don't think there is a the woman. And then tell him to figure his stuff out because he got her out there fighting chicks in the alleyway. She told him, you left me to, deal with this miscarriage by myself. And, I'm going to do this by myself. So then he asked about getting a DNA test. And she said, well, it's high risk. And, my midwife is not going to recommend that. And basically told him he's going to have to wait till the baby get there to find out. And this is what I'm saying. She wants to hold it over his head, knowing damn well that the baby ain't his. She wants him to go back and tell Brooke that he might have a baby on the way. She wants him to act like the baby might be his and do things for her in case this baby is his. And she know damn well that it's not. So yeah, she basically told him that, you over there with Brooke and clearly that's not where you want to be. And tell him, listen, get the hell up out of here. Okay. And Brooke is in the car talking crazy, talking about how she about to pull up at Alex's house. And, she found out once.
For what? To get whooped by a pregnant woman?
Once before, she going to find out again. Girl, find out what? That she can easily whoop your ass? She will slam your little ass to the ground?
She's a glutton for punishment.
They're all gluttons.
Ain't no way. I mean, they are, but ain't no way. For me, ain't no way I'm going back after you whoop my. If I come back to fight you, it's not gonna be fair. After you whoop my ass, that's just what it is.
My thing is, why is your first thing talking about fighting Alex if your man is over there?
That part.
I understand if maybe you just need to see it for your eyes, that he ain't answer your phone calls and you want to drive over there and see with your own two eyes that this is where he's at. Why is your energy not at him? Because even if she did invite him over, he still jumped in his ride and got over there.
Let's get into Zeruiah and Troy and Mama Karen hanging out back there, but we didn't get an appearance from her. So, my notes say Zeruiah and her homegirl, but I remembered her name, Sahara. They on their way up to Buffalo to try to support Troy, but they
remembered that.
But no, I literally didn't remember it until they said it again, like later on in like other scenes. I didn't remember it off the top because my notes say her and her homegirl.
I thought you just remembered it from Ready to Love.
Oh no. So, and it's crazy because I should have. But so yeah, they really don't know what they going up there for, according to Zeruiah. So she thanks her, thank you for being a friend. Hey, travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Okay, I'm just saying she thanks Sahara for being a friend. You know what I'm saying? And so she said, I don't know what this memorial, I had no clue about this memorial. And I said, damn, how y'all married and he didn't let you know, hey babe, this is what I'm doing. Like, even though he's not there, y'all didn't talk. I just thought that was strange. Y'all don't text. Like, that was weird to me. So conveniently, Yana and Troy were able to meet up in a mutual place. He's gotten baby Troy. You can see that she is very
I
happy to
thought she
see
was going.
who, Yana.
Mm-hmm.
He invited her, but I can understand her falling back. Um, and I thought that was good that they were able to, they would be able to come find a common ground. So obviously, baby Troy is very happy to see her
Okay,
daddy.
he didn't tell her that his wife was gonna be there.
No, he didn't tell either one that the other was going to be there.
I know,
So
but I mean, when he met up with Yana and got baby Troy from her, I bet you he didn't say, "Oh, well,
oh yeah. So he's trying to explain to his daughter a little bit about who his father was. And he lets her know that, look, although I can't make up for the lost time that I wasn't here, I assure you, anytime you call, I'm there. Always there when you call, always on time. Well, I don't know, Troy, because you left her sitting at the bus station for an hour and a half and some change. But for the most part, I get what you're saying. Moving forward, you're going to do better, And so, he said, but I'm here now. I got you. And so he gets emotional in his confessional about how his father wanted him to be a good man. And that's what he strives to be. And he shares that he only spent 26 years of his life with his father, and 6 of those he was incarcerated. And so he's still hurting from losing his dad while he was in prison. And so Zeruiah and Sahara finally make it there. And she asked to speak to him alone because apparently this secret is eating away at her and she just can't hold it no more. And so then she finally decides to reveal that she's pregnant, which they hug it out. And Troy, he's a crier, which I support. I love seeing a Black man be in touch with his emotions. And he says that this news is a spirit lifter with, everything that he's dealing with right now. And so he gets emotional. I can't even say he gets emotional. That man broke down and he starts apologizing for all the things that he's put her through. And she tells Troy, well, look, I ain't really trying to tell nobody right now because this is about your dad, which I said, who this? It's not about you for once. Oh,
she been showing out this season."
okay. And Zeruiah said, I'm going to get me another season. Uncle comes and shows up with his father's ashes. Troy gives this very heartfelt speech. It was hard, y'all. Y'all know my sense of that. I definitely was tearing up. Wasn't full blown ugly cry, but I was definitely tearing up. And so he starts to put his father's ashes on him, which I thought was a little extreme, but you grieve how you grieve. She gets too emotional, or he gets too emotional, and he walks away. And he starts, scattering his father's ashes in the water or whatever. And he really, like, that's when he at this point is inconsolable. So I think it was his aunt or one of his family members was like, you gonna go check on your husband because you don't see him over there, like, really, like, fuck that right now. And Zeruiah was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go do that. So they go over there, and she kind of consoles him or whatever. And basically he's just promising his father that he'll do better and he'll do good, and he admits that he's going through all these emotions right now. And so then I love when baby Troy comes over and asks him, are you good? I was like, oh, that is so cute. Let's move on to these people.
Justine and Michael.
The old Michael.
I was like, what? Where did this picture come from? All right, so Justine and Michael are in New York. Okay, they're excited to get some alone time, without the kids finally, and look at some venues. But then they call back home to find out what's going on because the cameras are down. And grandma like, damn, they down again. I had to. We'd have been on FaceTime. Look, just go to the house because what the hell going on? Why these cameras keep on going down like this? Okay, so then Sherry Justine's mom
I
met
think
them.
grandma wanted her privacy. That's what, if you ask me my opinion. She was like, y'all ain't gonna sit up here and watch me
You
all
think it
day.
was grandma that put the cameras down?
Yeah, y'all ain't gonna sit up here and watch me. I done took care of kids before. I know what I'm doing. Get off my line. Go enjoy yourselves. And I see Justine being the one watching them. What is she doing? Why is she doing that? I absolutely see her turn them
Well, you
damn
see,
things.
she didn't want to notice.
Mhm.
So then Justine's mom, Sherry, comes down to their hotel room, and immediately they start discussing wedding plans, like, how many guests, not having a tacky buffet table. Michael said it's a little intimidating because he knows Sherry's wedding was 100 G's. Okay. And they showed it. They had receipts. Okay. Mama with the Bentley, the ice sculptures. All right. It was beautiful. All right. Now, while she's sitting down discussing, what Justine, what she won't skimp on, Michael was talking about how, he hasn't told her things about their finances.
Well, he better speak up the way she out there. Wait,
Because it's given, if you trying to do something in the courthouse and we over here looking at places that might be 40 G's to start, like, what are we doing?
that part.
So then they showed up at the first location, and it was beautiful. Michael's cousins met them there, as well as his dad. Apparently, his dad is super bougie, and he the one that picked out this venue. So Michael already know it's going to be expensive. So he did. He asked his dad, what did he think this was going to run them, and he told him about 40 grand for 5 hours minimum. And he's like, 40 grand. He said minimum.
Minimum.
like, sir, don't get stuck on the 40 grand. It
Like
might be
this is not an all inclusive,
right.
Michael.
It might be 50, it might be 60. I'm
Right.
telling you minimum. Okay. So Justine is discussing the budget with his cousins and her mom. And Sherry told her, yeah, 60 grand is not realistic. Okay. And she believes it's gonna cost more. Michael is clearly getting nervous. He said he doesn't want to make any wrong financial choices. And he's starting to feel like this wedding is unattainable. I think he said this
Mm,
is confessionable. And Justine's face was just like, yeah, I ain't trying to hear none of that.
okay.
So then after looking at the venue, they all went out to dinner. And Sherry's running down, lists of expenses that they didn't really think of. Michael says, yeah, we can't do that. Okay. And Justine said that she would pay for her parts, like her dress and her family. And he's like your part? What do you mean? What you gonna pay for your part? Like, what does that mean? So he got up from the table. He a little aggravated. And he was like, you know what? Pay for the dinner. Pay for the dinner. That's your part. And he realizes that he's stressed because he's lying to her and really taking it out on her.
That part.
His daddy said, look, he's stressed. He'll get over it. All right. Girl, keep on planning. Do what you got to do, boo.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's nice to see a groom stressed out for once versus seeing the bride.
Because he got to come up with all the money.
Well, that was one thing I was a little confused about, and I didn't quite understand because I figured Justine doesn't give me the vibe that she has a job. So
That's why he got aggravated.
right, so saying you're gonna pay for your stuff is a little weird because yeah, it's coming out of the same pot.
Exactly. And I think that's why he was like what? What does that mean?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was like, did I hear that wrong? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's get into Latisha and Keith. We check in with them. She's showing off her blended family now that Keith's son Mari is there. Keith's dad Doc calls to check on, see how Mari is doing. And Keith lets him know he's good. He, blended in really well, fell right into place. Even though he doesn't have full physical custody, he does have supervision. So then we see Latisha trying to call her attorney, but he keeps sending her to voicemail. And so she talks about how she's facing up to 15 years from this dispute that she's having with a client, and they filed charges. And so she's consistently trying to get in contact with her attorney, but she keeps getting sent to voicemail. And I said, well, damn. So then Keith wants to go see his dad and said, Latisha's like, look, I'm really stressed out. This man ain't getting back to me. And Keith said, look, it's all right. Everything will fall into place eventually. But clearly he's just being hopeful for her because when he get to his daddy spot, his community center, he basically said, I'm a little concerned about this case that she's facing. And so Doc says, I've been to prison myself and I plan to help my son out in any way I can, and I've lost a lot of time. But he says, but it's absolutely necessary for Keith to be able to take care of his responsibilities. So Latisha is now working from home, but we see her working out of a coffee shop because, the case has affected her financially. All right. And she claims that, oh, but I don't miss having a big team. It's less stressful. And so her cousin Shy comes to meet up with her and, check in. And Latisha tells her about not being able to reach the attorney, how she's worried about going to jail, what's going to happen with the kids, what's going to happen with her husband. And so Keith is basically telling his dad, what's going on and how it's bothering her. And so Doc said, well, have y'all talked about a plan if she does go to jail? Because clearly it's looming. So it's better to figure it out now than wait.
Mm-hmm.
And he lets them know they need to have a real conversation. And so that's when Latisha finally does get a call from her attorney, and then she actually cuts filming. So
I think we kind of know what happened from there.
yeah, we know what happened, but I mean, I saw her on Instagram the other day posting, so she's out again and out here, talking about her boss this and yes, I used to be a felon, but so
She was looking a little crazy too.
she was.
So next up is Bianca and
The
Daniel.
way he did this girl was, I don't even like Bianca for real, but this was nasty work. I'm sorry. It was disgusting the way he was talking to her. And
Girl.
I'm actually happy that what's her name was right. And that she
Oh, her homegirl.
no, I'm actually happy that Bianca was right and that got his karma.
I was going to say, well, he did get his karma. Um, so we pick up where we left off. Daniel just admitted that he played the mess out of Bianca. She's super confused because she doesn't know if he's being for real or not, and he's blaming her for making him into this person. And now she feels like this is who he's been the entire time. He's just finally showing his true colors, and of course, she's upset that she moved her entire life across the country for somebody who was using her. So then he says, um, oh, are you going to go back to Florida and cry home to your mom and dad? And she's like, no, I'm going to deal with it like any other breakup. I'm going to cry it out and be just fine out here on my own. And then told him that she can't live with him. So what are we going to do? And he was like, all right, well, then leave. And she was like, I don't feel like I should be the one that has to leave. He said, if you want to bring a guy home, well, then just let me know in advance and I'll leave. I can deal with it because I'm not leaving. So she said, I can bring in a ton of alcohol in the house, call your PO, and she'll kick you right up out of there. I said,
Now that Bianca was nasty work.
Bianca, oh, goodness.
I was like, damn, Bianca. And then if you gonna think it, don't say it on
And
camera.
I was going to say, don't say it on camera because now you
Right.
definitely do it. Because all he got to do is run this back.
Right.
So, you know what? He said, go for it. Um, and said, this is why I can't be with you in the first place because you're not honest. And she said, okay, well then don't live with me. So he just kind of walked away from the table and told production that when he was in prison, he did mean the engagement, but now um he's kind of feeling like, what the hell was he thinking? And said, you don't know anybody until you live with them. And he thinks it's
I
best.
believe that's a true statement, but I believe the whole you don't know somebody so you live with them. I absolutely agree with that. However, I believe that about him wanting to get engaged is
Yeah.
BS.
Mhm. Um, and basically feels like it's best for her to just get out. He said that he could never take away the fact that she was there for him in his roughest point in life, but that doesn't mean that doesn't give her an excuse to treat him the way that she does, and feels maybe things would have been better if he had expressed how he was feeling early on rather than letting them fester, and said he was holding on to hope. And Bianca feels like Daniel at one point did love her, but she's glad that this happened 5 months later. rather than 5 years later down the line when they were married and had a baby. Then we see 3 days later, she gives him a call while he's with production or in the confessional.
And he's
And
just nasty to this girl. It was awful.
yes, she says that she's seen all the messages from forever ago, up through now, where he's been talking to numerous women and has been cheating on her. And he said he don't give a damn. Okay, he's done with her, and he has been since the second day that they met, and told her to eat caca.
Yes,
Okay?
he did. I think that's necessary.
And he was doing all. Remember when he was just calling her the B word for no reason? Like
Yeah, he was like, "Bip, bip, bip, bip." I was like, Daniel.
it was all unnecessary.
It was
Um,
all unnecessary and uncalled for and childish.
so then we catch up with Bianca in Dania Beach, Florida. I know that area very well.
Okay.
Okay. She said that she's been there for 2 weeks. She said she no longer wanted to be in a toxic situation, and it feels amazing to be back in Florida living with her mom.
And that girl got some sun. Did you see? That got some sun. I said, oh, she looked darker. I
But she
said,
was in Arizona before, right? Arizona is hot.
because she's going outside.
Oh, that's right. She wasn't going out. True.
She wasn't going out. She was sitting in that house. I
Yeah,
said, oh my God.
she just needed to be. She needed to be.
And not saying I think she looked absolutely gorgeous, but she definitely looked better with some.
Like she had some life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, get your vitamin D.
Yeah, she needed to be back around her friends. So she invited her friend Haley over to tell her what was going on. Haley basically said she knew it wasn't going to work out. So they sat down and discussed it over a glass of wine. She told her that she looked
I was like, oh, clearly she drinking again.
Exactly. She said, well, she said she did it for him. So she said that she looked at his computer and saw that he was talking to so many women, even from the start of their relationship. She said that he had been talking to like 100 women, talking about how he was going to pay them to meet up. He was even video chatting and doing nasty stuff on camera while they watched. Just real nasty. Mm-hmm. She said that she lost all feelings for him in that moment. Instead, she left the next day. He told production that he was pursuing other women and has been for some time now. Then she explained that he basically used her, because now he has his own car. His name is on the apartment and feels like that's what he was waiting for. She said that that man is on the block list. Okay. And she said she can go the rest of her life without hearing from him or hearing his name. He also said that she constantly seeks toxic partners. But this was a big life lesson for her. And, she wants to pursue a career and find out what her passion is. And she wants
you
to
must be running out of money.
You're so silly.
No.
I mean, it happens if you ain't doing nothing to bring it back in. But she said that she's putting herself first. Then production asked her if she had a message for him, what would she say? She said, "F you, you're a piece of crap, and you're probably going to end up back in prison, or you're going to end up homeless and addicted to drugs." Okay. She said
Not drugs.
yes. She said that she thinks his karma is coming and it's not going to be good. And then a month later, clank, clank, Daniel is back in jail. Okay. Due to a failed drug test for alcohol. He's in a 90-day program and said it definitely wasn't worth drinking. He had a full-time job and a lease on the apartment, and he might even lose his license.
Well. Good luck with that.
I hope her name was on the lease, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, child. Hopefully she had enough sense. Maybe that's why she living with a mama now. Get herself back together. Say, because you see, like I said, now she talking about getting a job, and before that won't even in on her radar. She just wanted to pop up and get pregnant and live off whatever she had.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so, she young,
And one thing I will say is, even though it's sad that it took her big ass hard head to make her soft ass, but I can appreciate that she said this is a learning experience. It was very big learning experience for me. So clearly she's learned from it. Hopefully she don't go seeking out inmates or any other toxic people.
Oh,
I do know that she's supposed to be pregnant now. So I guess congratulations, Bianca, if you ever see this. Or for any of her supporters, I do wish her the best. And I hope she did learn something. And I really just hope she's grown. Like, honestly, that was to me probably the best thing out of their scene was her acknowledging, yeah, I made poor decisions, but now I'm trying to make better ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, y'all. So let us know what you thought about this recap of The Love That Happens After the Lockup, season 6, episode 18. If you have not already, please do us a favor and go ahead and hit the like button.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure that you guys subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms. That's the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, the IG. What am I forgetting? The Blue Sky and the Lemonade. We love y'all. We'll catch you for Reasonable Doubt. Bye-bye.